Amidst a nationwide increase in violent crime, the homicide rate in Oakland is at its highest point in almost a decade.
And now the city's chief of police is pleading with his city, saying, quote, "I need help." Here to discuss is Oakland Police Chief Leronne Armstrong. Welcome, Chief Armstrong. We're happy you're here. We're sad it's under these circumstances, of course. And yes, you are making a plea for help. Do you know, though, what's behind this surge in violent crimes, in homicides specifically?
Well, we know that group and gang violence has been the main driver of our homicides. We've also seen an increase in privately manufactured firearms, known as ghost guns, into our community. So it's been an influx of issues, and also our justice system has just not been working in Oakland and in the Bay Area and throughout California, and that's really been challenging for us because the sense of accountability has not been there.
Chief, how many officers do you have on your police force right now?
Currently, we have 676 officers. That's 10% smaller than we were at the same time last year.
Do you have a correlation there? Do you have any data that shows the number of officers you have on the street, the number of officers you have in your department, has an impact, a direct impact on the crime going up?
Yeah, we definitely know that we're unable to do a lot of things that we have been doing previously, particularly when we talk about prevention of incidents from occurring. I think the importance for law enforcement is that we're able to prevent crimes from happening and not just be responsive. And that's what we're forced to do with a smaller staff, is be more responsive to calls rather than actually preventing those crimes from occurring. So with a short staff, that really is a challenge.
Chief, you say you need help. What kind of help do you need, and who do you need it from?
Well, we need additional resources, and that means officers. And thankfully, our mayor has spoken up. She spoke yesterday about the increase for resources, the additional academies that we need. We also need our criminal court system to work and hold people accountable when they commit charges. We also need community members to step up for those that have been participating in armed caravans of people coming into our community, looting our businesses, impacting our business community in a way we haven't seen before.
Chief, you use that word resources, but I assume here you're talking about money. And there was absolutely kind of a movement across the country over the past year or so to defund police. And even the city council out there made a move to, I guess, move some money from police resources and put it into other places. What is your message to folks who think that that's the way to divert funds from a police department to put other places maybe that could go to good use? But what is your take now and message to folks who think taking money away from a police department right now is the way to go?
Well, I understand people's desire to have progressive ideas and reform of policing, but I don't think you can do it at the risk of public safety because it impacts people. Less police officers potentially can make a community less safe. And in Oakland, we have definitely seen crime go out of control as a result of having less resources. So I think as we have progressive conversations about policing across the country, we have to make sure we consider the safety impact that it can have on our communities when we take resources away.
I know there was an incident last week that has really shaken up the police community and the community at large. It happened in the Bay Area. A former police officer there had been working security for a news crew covering, ironically, crime there in Oakland. He was shot and killed. Do you have any leads on who's behind this? And can you give us a sense of what this particular murder has done to your community and to your police officers?
Well, the first thing I'll say is my condolences to the family and colleagues of this officer who was well-liked and was someone that spent many years in law enforcement. I'll say that the impact has been something that our community has been definitely saddened by. The idea that someone would be there to secure our media and they would become a victim of a homicide is just really tragic. And so we have released a photo of the vehicle responsible for this shooting. We continue to use every resource we have available to try to identify the person responsible for this crime. But this is another senseless crime like we've seen so many in Oakland, and it really saddens me and our officers that this happened to someone who had dedicated his life to service.
Chief, you said it saddens you, but you're an Oakland boy, born and raised. You even lost your brother as a teenager who was shot and killed there in that community. Now here you are, all these years later, as the head of a department to try to help your community. Tell me where your head and where your heart are.
It's challenging. 127 homicides. I feel the impact of emotion and pain that this violence is causing in our community. And I continue to say to young people in Oakland and throughout our country that we have to solve conflict in a different way, that we have to not pick up firearms and cause so much harm to communities and families. And as someone who has been a victim of that, I know that that hurt and pain never goes away. But we also know hurt people hurt people. And so we just have to continue to support one another and try to find ways to deal with conflict that doesn't result in gun violence.
Oakland Police Chief Leronne Armstrong, we applaud your efforts. We certainly thank you for being on the show and shining some light on this issue, and we hope you get the help you need.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.